Our keynote speaker will be Dr. Kizza Besigye, our leader who is in prison. For the first time, you will have a prisoner addressing a congregation from prison. So Dr. Besigye will be the keynote speaker on July 8th when we are inaugurating PFF. The second point relating to that, you need to take note that today, June 29th, Dr. Kizza Besigye will be spending his 221 nights in Luzira prison on trumped up politically motivated charges of treason and misprision of treason. Remember, the Kangaroo Museveni Muhoozi military court charged and remanded Dr. Besigye to Luzira on November 20th last year. Dr. Besigye had been kidnapped from Nairobi, where he went to attend the book launch of former Kenyan Justice Minister, the Honorable Martha Karua's book launch, together with Ajobed Lutale. They were kidnapped on the 16th November, but formally charged in that Kangaroo military court on 20th and remanded. So today, Dr. Besigye will be spending his 221 nights in prison, 6 months and over. When the court martial remanded him, you remember the events that followed, including the judgment of the Supreme Court that stopped civilians from being tried by military courts. So Dr. Besigye was transferred to Nakawa Court, which on May 29th committed him to the High Court for trial. Article 28 of the Constitution commands and instructs the judiciary and the state to facilitate a fair, speedy, and public hearing before an independent court. So the country demands that the constitutional rights of Dr. Kizza Besigye are protected, and together with those of other prisoners, especially those who have been arrested after having committed no offense. At the moment, there are 2 cases in the High Court. Dr. Besigye has filed an application for mandatory bail, because under the Constitution, when you stay on remand for 180 days, you are entitled, it is constitutional, you are entitled to mandatory bail. So Dr. Besigye has filed an application in the High Court for mandatory bail, but also the case for which he was arrested. That matter is before the High Court. So we therefore expect the High Court to fix these matters for hearing. First, the application by Dr. Besigye for mandatory bail, and then the trial itself, the one that over which Museveni was celebrating, that instead of demanding Besigye's release, you should demand for his speedy trial. The High Court must fix these cases. If they don't, in 1 week, I am issuing a notice. We will all go and camp at the High Court. So High Court, in 1 week, please, if these matters are not fixed, we are coming to Tujja. We visited Dr. Besigye as we have usually done. Of course, he remains, as expected, very strong and in high spirit. What is bothering him are actually not the issues in prison, but issues outside the prison. Dr. Besigye, in our conversation, he continues to encourage Ugandans to stand up against the military junta of Museveni and his son. And there is no news that you take to Besigye in Luzira that causes him happiness, like when he hears that Ugandans are still struggling. So he doesn't want to hear other things other than courageous Ugandans trying to push back against the regime. I will now go to the third issue, the NRG. The Museveni-led military junta unveiled and unleashed on 2 citizens, yet its other criminal hit gang. the ghetto squad on Saturday, June 27th. The NRM ghetto squad was one of the many gangs that accompanied 70-year-old Museveni to pick his party nomination forms to run for president, to extend his 40-year rule in power. The NRM ghetto squad, fully dressed in brand new Museveni campaign t-shirts, as you all witnessed, punched, kicked, maimed, robbed citizens of their belongings, and mechanized on Kampala streets. This ghetto squad, I have seen NRM attempting to deny, but this ghetto squad was raised and trained by newly promoted Major General Christopher Damulira. We have spoken about it before here. Damulira heads the Police Crime Intelligence Directorate. His job, together with another soldier called Major Kutesa, has been to raise, train, and deploy this ghetto squad. It has been assigned many duties. You remember when we had disagreements over the Museveni money in FDC, this squad was at Najanankumbi full time. They were beating our people. Remember the chairman of Busia was nearly killed by this group when we had a delegates conference at the nature beach of Chairman Waswabirigu. And they operate together with the police, and these days with the Joint Anti-Terrorism Police. So they were torturing our people under the protection of police, and then police would pretend that they don't know them. They were the same group in Kawempe, assaulting citizens, beating up journalists. Even the Electoral Commission officials nearly got beaten by this group in Kawempe. They were recently deployed to rig youth elections in Kampala. I saw them in my constituency. They were being driven from one polling station to another. You know, because these elections happen like in an hour or less, they are lining up. They would drive them from one voting center, go and vote from another. Where they find opposition, they will beat you. And thank God, because in the past they will dismiss them. They will say opposition are causing chaos in Kampala, stealing people's phones. Now the whole country saw who has been behind this stealing and punching of citizens, dressed in Museveni's brand new campaign t-shirts and unleashed on citizens in Kampala. We want to thank you, Mr. Museveni. You have been hiding for long. Now the country knows who is raising and breeding criminals. And there is something wrong with Mr. Museveni. These days his name is synonymous with crimes. You remember in Imbari, he was launching groups of Malaya publicly, because it is a crime in the Ugandan constitution. So, but Museveni was launching Malaya squads. I don't know when he will be unleashing them and on to who, but you all saw him launching a circle for Malayas, people who are selling themselves. They were being launched in Imbale with huge sums of money by Museveni, who knows that that act is a crime in the penal code. He now has a ghetto squad. They have been hiding, dressing them in rags sometimes to disguise their identity. But this time, because Museveni wanted numbers in Kororo, they were bringing everybody, maybe the Malaya squad from Mbale, and each was handed a brand new t-shirt. So they were on the street, brutalizing the citizens. Now they are saying that these criminals took advantage. Which advantage when you are the ones who were dressing them up? Because a crime is a crime. There is no way you are going to pick criminals to do your politics. So we once again appeal to you, Mr. Museveni, and your family, to stop this criminality. Please don't ignite fire onto our country. We will all lose it. That because you want to stay in power beyond 4 decades, now you must hire goons. lose the country together. Mr. Museveni, we appeal to you to step back. It is not too late. That NRM is going to be run by criminals, criminal squads. And people should not take this lightly. These fellows are going to be unleashed, especially in Kampala Metropolitan. You saw them celebrating that they swept youth elections, but there are no elections and they know it. These fellows are funded by police and the State House. Recently, you saw Christopher Damulira in Jinja that he had gone to inaugurate ghetto youth. And you all saw them when they were unleashed on 2U in Kampala. So we hold Mr. Museveni responsible together with Damulira. If they want to do anything, the first person to be arrested should be Christopher Damulira, who is in charge of these gangs. They cannot pretend. These fellows never brought themselves on the streets. They were brought by Museveni and Damulira. Finally, Museveni is back. So the country should be aware. Unleashing hit squads on 2 citizens on the day Museveni picked nomination forms from his party to run for president is a sign of the many things to come. The day that Museveni was picking forms to run for president, he was accompanied and he unleashed criminal gangs to go and terrorize people in Kampala. Sometimes people who are in uniform, there are things they cannot do. I saw Akuro crying that she was beaten, assaulted with her family, and I was very happy because they are the ones who are responsible for these criminals. And thank God that they were able to also assault Akuro. Because you have cameras, you cannot pretend that these people walked from wherever they walked from without you seeing. They actually saw them because they were brought by them. They can pretend about it. We now want to see a public trial as commanded by Article 28 of the Constitution of these criminals and those who deployed them. In 2026 presidential race, Mr. Museveni is the face of human rights violation, corruption, militarism, land grabbing, nepotism, sectarianism, opulence, and incompetence. That's what Museveni presents. That with all these multiple security groups in Uganda, from JAT to police to crime intelligence to SFC to everything, that criminals can walk from their homes, access Museveni's campaign t-shirts and assault people. And then the following day you are pretending that you don't know. We are not fools, Museveni, please don't pretend. We are not fools. This country is not a country of fools. People may be vulnerable and keep quiet about crimes you are committing, but they are not fools. Our country, and we will elaborate more on this on our inauguration on Tuesday, how Museveni has mortgaged Uganda to money lenders, including China. During the budget presentation, I did refer to this. You now have a budget, half of the budget is to pay debt. Money that Museveni has contracted to fund his lifestyle and his wife and children who are throwing parties one after another.